Hey guys, I am staying at a hostel in Nicaragua right now, and I thought that this would be the perfect opportunity to make a video about backpacking. I am constantly being asked how much it costs to travel the world, and of course the most affordable way to travel is backpacking. I started backpacking solo when I was 18 years old. I think everyone should go backpacking at least once in their lives. It's how I started to build confidence traveling solo, and backpacking, staying in hostels, using public transportation has been a huge reason why I've been able to afford to travel to so many different places. And it's the best way for people to get out and see as much of the world as possible, to meet new people, and of course to do it while on a budget. The price of backpacking varies a lot from region to region around the world, so in this video I'm going to break down some of the specific costs of traveling in Central America. Central America is made up of 7 countries: Guatemala, Belize, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama. Keep in mind that traveling in Costa Rica and Panama is a bit more expensive because a lot more tourists go to those countries. Staying in hostels is why it is so cheap to travel as a backpacker in Central America. It's usually somewhere between $5 and $15 US a night to stay in a dorm or a mixed dormitory, meaning that you're going to be staying with a lot of other travelers. This means that at the very bare minimum you could be spending $150 to $200 US for an entire month of accommodation. And there's only a few other regions in the world where you can find those kind of prices. Because it is so cheap and relatively safe to travel through this region, I always recommend that first-time backpackers should start somewhere in Central America. It's also worth mentioning that I've never felt unsafe staying in a mixed-gender dormitory. If anything, I feel a lot more safe staying in hostels where I'm surrounded by a lot of other travelers. If you are uncomfortable staying in a dorm for whatever reason, you can still stay in hostels but book a private room. Nowadays, I personally book private rooms because I travel with so much camera gear that it's not really worth locking it up in a dorm, but if you aren't traveling with a lot of expensive gear, that's not really something that you're gonna have to worry about. So in Central America specifically, private rooms in hostels typically cost between $15 and $30 US. As far as eating, the cheapest way to eat in Central America is by going to the small roadside vendors, and another great benefit of staying in a hostel is that you have a full kitchen. So being able to buy produce and different foods to make and then being able to store them in a refrigerator in the hostel will save you a ton of money while traveling. And you can expect to spend maybe somewhere around $20 a week on food if you are going to be cooking it yourself. When I'm traveling, I definitely prefer to spend all of my money on activities. I typically save a few $100s to the side just in case a once-in-a-lifetime bucket list opportunity comes up, which means that I usually stay in extremely cheap accommodation. I don't spend very much money on food, but if an opportunity to go bungee jumping or something for $100, $200 comes up, I'll be able to take that opportunity. Public buses are definitely the cheapest way to get around, and you can go pretty much anywhere in each country for just a few dollars or even less than that. I think that going between countries costs around $15 to $30 a trip. Another huge money-saving tip for when you're backpacking is to avoid flying as much as possible. This means utilizing buses and trains whenever you have the opportunity to. And for Central America, that means that you're going to be spending a lot of time on buses, especially if you want to see a few countries during your trip. But thankfully, buses usually only cost a few dollars, if that, for hours of riding. So overall, how much does it cost to travel in Central America? Keep in mind that, of course, you can do all of these things a lot cheaper, and the sky is the limit for how much money you can spend, not including your international plane tickets. I would personally budget $40 to $60 per day USD, and even if you don't end up spending that much every single day, it's always better to over budget and be comfortable than under budget and realize that you are going to run out of money while you're there. Because trust me, running out of money in a foreign country really sucks. I hope you guys found some of the information in this video helpful. If you have gone backpacking in Central America, comment down below any advice you have for other travelers who would like to do the same. I would like to thank B&H Photo and Video for giving me this amazing camera setup and empowering me to make these videos for you guys. If you're interested in what gear I am using to film this video, the links are down below. So thanks for watching, and I will catch you next week.